Thank you, Prasan.
Thank you, Summer, for being here.
Thank you for having us in your beautiful home in Friends Colony East. Now, you're the CEO and founder of chason Beverages, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you this one question, just to begin with.
Right.
Now, the value of identity, of course,
Right.
is that so often with it comes purpose. Have you today, through your personal experience, your relationships,
Right.
how others perceive you, how you perceive yourself, found that engine that drives you?
I would say yes. Absolutely. Your environment around you, according to me, is very important to sort of drive you, make you do things that you feel can't be done. A sense of purpose is probably the most important thing for an entrepreneur to be successful. You wake up in the morning, there should be direction on where you're going, what you're doing with your day, and what's the greater cause or the bigger cause for this journey of yours.
Of course.
Building an organization takes, a lot of perseverance. It takes a lot of hard work, but it's what your mindset, how clear you are, and that actually comes with a lot of time, a lot of persistence, and just a lot of hard work. And I think trial and error, Summer. Trial and error is very important.
Anything, yes.
Even today, I'm 39. I don't think I'm absolutely clear on what my entrepreneurial journey will be. chason Beverages, and I say this to everyone, is probably my 5th or 6th venture, maybe even my 7th company, because I kind of was this confused kid out of college, didn't know what he was doing.
Right.
And for me, that has also been my strength.
chason Beverages, right? Responsible for bringing spirits, wines into India. Now, Prasan, what was the vision behind it? Was it to change, elevate India's beverage market and how people consume?
Right. So the whole idea behind chason Beverages when I started is bringing in luxury spirits, luxury wines, brands that kind of are a little different from the norm. They have different techniques on the way they produce their liquid, let's put it that way, and their identity is a lot more than just the alcohol in it.
Right.
They are lifestyle brands. There is an experience when you consume the brand. There's a story behind the brand which is interesting. So I want to bring that whole aspect to the beverage and alcohol community to India. The Indian consumer now is very well traveled. The Indian consumer is picky, let's put it that way. So I thought there is a vacuum in the market to cater to that Indian consumer, something that is out of the norm.
Yes.
And yes, luxury, a lot of people think it has to be expensive. Fine, that is an element to it. But I also mean there are many more elements to luxury. The kind of story behind the creation of that spirit, the craftsman behind even the creation of the bottles, the taste, how it feels on your palate. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no.
You mentioned the history of beverage.
Yeah.
Right? I'm very interested in the history of Prasan. Now, anyone's journey
Yeah.
as a starting point.
I don't know how interesting it is, but
No.
it's quite. It's been a roller coaster summer. Let's put it that way.
I'm sure it has.
Yeah.
But your parents now.
Yeah.
What kept your parents busy when you were growing up, and what keeps them busy today?
So Summer, we grew up in Kathmandu, Nepal.
Right.
My dad moved there from Calcutta. Actually, from Calcutta, where he was born, he first moved to Delhi, where he was working in a garment buying house, and then he moved to Kathmandu 40 years ago. At that time, America had a quota system with Nepal. What I mean is that America is looking to develop third world countries by giving them like this welfare quota system, where if you were a garment manufacturer, a certain amount of your production had to be bought by American companies to increase employment, help the economy. You can call it like their way of like a duty rebate, to make sure that this industry grows and flourishes. So my father sort of caught on to that opportunity and moved to Nepal. This is before he was married, and set up a garment factory there. So we grew up there, and father was busy running his factory. My mother actually, since we're talking about luxury and we spoke about luxury spirits, I see the first aspect of luxury in my life or in our lives as a family was brought on by my mother. She was the one who enjoyed beautiful things. Anything nice in my home, be it a piece of furniture, piece of art, was brought on by my mother. She was a big influence.
You have a sister.
I have a younger sister.
Younger sister,
Yeah.
right. And her name is?
Her name's Chandani.
And she is where?
She lives in Delhi now with me as well. And Chandani, you've got this podcast going on,
Right.
a beautiful podcast. She actually is working on being a podcaster herself.
Okay.
And the whole thought process is my sister's battled with juvenile diabetes since she was 7. It was juvenile then, but now it's obviously diabetes,
So
serious
she wants
diabetes.
to concentrate on.
So she wants to develop this podcast around wellness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Prasan, did either of you help guide each other growing up? I mean, in moments of doubt or anticipation,
Right.
growing up today?
So it's a very, very good question. We lost our mum when we were very young. I was 17 and my sister was 13 at that time. Okay, fine. I was very, very close to my mother, as most boys are. But I went right back into my routine at boarding school in Dehradun.
Which we'll come to, yes.
Yeah. So so maybe being back in that routine of boarding school and the distraction around that whole environment kept me going. But I think my sister really suffered.
Yeah.
And it really affected.
Because she was home.
She was home. She saw the emptiness of a mother at home firsthand. And she saw how my father also, he was a young man in his early 50s when he lost his wife. And like most homes, our mother was like the rock of the family. She was, I feel, the more dynamic one out of all of us. And she kept everything in a structured environment the way, how do I put a dynamic environment has
Yes, of
to
course.
be.
Yeah.
Made sure, my husband, I'm being supportive of my husband, so he's doing well at work. She was a very social woman. She, made sure that she had her friends around her and, their social engagements were taken care of, which were probably important, to her. She made sure, even my father, if he had to network for his business, that was done correctly.
Amazing, because I can see your mother and your father in you.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. I think I'm a lot like her when it comes to
social
the
and
social
also structure,
and
but your father work
yes.
orientated.
Yeah. But my post-school life, especially in college, lacking that guidance and push from my mother was a very pushy woman. She's the one who made sure that, as I mentioned time and time again, that we excel. Not having that push in your years when you're developing. Formative years. That's the right
You felt the
word.
vacuum.
I definitely felt the vacuum, and I didn't take life seriously. I started partying too much. I used to travel just to get away from, class and things like that. My best friends were studying in New York and Boston, and I was in Ohio, so I'd go visit them a lot. Ohio wasn't the most exciting place to be, but I went there on a drum scholarship. I used to be a musician somewhere.
Right.
Yeah, I used to be a musician when I was younger. So I went on a drum scholarship.
On a drum scholarship
to Ohio.
That's
And
great.
I was playing jazz drums. The drums were great. I mean,
Isolate yourself, loud music.
Action. And it also kind of brought out my there's a personality trait which makes you creative and outgoing and fun. I think the drums kind of blended well with that, and maybe even, how do I tell you, sort of brought it out.
Yes.
So that was college, and but coming back to the lack of guidance, I didn't take college seriously, Samar, and I regret it to date. I do regret it. I've seen how I have been maybe slower and maybe not as engaged in certain discussions and meetings, not now, but maybe in my early and mid 20s, when I tried to have entrepreneurial ventures that I was starting, or maybe even I was just going for career advice to someone.
Mm.
I was much more, I won't say the term is stupid, but I wasn't as engaged as my friends who really focused and did well in college. I was just a little lost.
But you know, I mean, yeah, I read a quote, Prasan.
Yeah.
Never forget what you are, for surely the world will not. Make it your strength, then it can never be your weakness.
Right.
Armor yourself in it, and it will never be used to hurt you. Now, talking of parents,
Yeah.
did your parents provide you with armor, ammunition, a kind word, maybe a harsh word that held you in good stead through this vacuum, this period, this difficult period, and later to study hard, maybe to think for yourself? You know, my father used to say, details matter. They create depth,
Yeah.
and depth creates authenticity.
Yeah. That is very profound and wise of uncle, and very well said, I
Yeah.
must say, Samar. You know, so my father, as I said, he was very, very supportive. We kind of share more like a best friend relationship. So he never was like, listen, son, sit down, get your grades in order, and I need you to just work and study. No. He was like, listen, if this is what you want to do it. I'm here. Go make your mistakes. I'm realizing this now, Samar. There's a time where I was like, you know what, why is he not telling me what to do? Like my friends' fathers. Why am I not being guided that, acha beta, please go and complete this task? Go to the factory or go get this job. None of that. None of that. It was more like, you know what, enjoy your independence, you want to have a good time. He also maybe felt this is his son's way of coping with the vacuum of not having a mother. So yeah, coming back to your point, he just let me be. So right after college, we were still living in Nepal, but you know, we would travel to Delhi a lot, especially because I used to fly via Delhi to go to Doon. My mom used to come here a lot. She had a lot of close friends here. She'd come here to shop. You know, there was a thing to come and shop for all your stuff here in Delhi when you're living in Nepal. So Delhi was always very attractive to us. Secondly, I had my best friend from school here, who you know very well, Arkesh.
Yes.
He was living here and he was modeling.
Wait, so yeah, after Doon, college, Ohio, and then yes.
Back to Nepal.
Back to Nepal.
Yeah.
And then Bombay, Arkesh?
No, this was Bombay came a little later.
Little later.
When we met for the first time, Summer, I was still living in Nepal. I used to visit Arkesh every month because I wanted a little feel of Delhi.
Okay, got it.
He was staying at his, remember that fun apartment in Basant Vihar?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
so I used to fly and stay with him for a week. And one weekend we happened to come to Bombay because the Grand Hyatt was opening this restaurant called China House.
China House. Santa Cruz,
at the Grand,
actually.
exactly.
Oof.
And Dad's close friends, the family that owns that hotel is from Nepal. And they actually told my father that why don't you ask Prasan to go check the place out and let us know what he thinks.
Right.
So me and Arkesh came by and we sort of met you, and I
Yes,
remember we caught up, we had a few drinks, and that was what, over 15 years ago.
15, more.
More than that, yeah.
But today you're an entrepreneur.
Today
Now,
I'm an entrepreneur, yeah.
Do you remember when you became aware of your ambition to build a brand?
I do. It actually maybe during COVID actually, Summer. Till COVID, I was dabbling in quite a few things. Let's say I was hustling. You can even call it wheeling dealing.
Yeah.
In a
Grafting.
yeah, you know, there are terms like that. And there wasn't a structured business. There was one time where I was building earthquake-proof homes in Nepal. Right after that huge calamity that happened maybe about 10 years ago.
Through what? Through
So I have a friend here who's manufacturing prefab material in Manesar. So we came up with this idea. He was using European technologies to build, and we came up with this idea of putting together those materials and building earthquake-proof homes.
Good.
And we ended up doing a decent amount of work. And this was 2015 summer, 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
So what you do is we ended up building a decent amount of capital, and I also did some work with the Nepalese army at that time. We built them some barracks.
Oh.
Yeah.
With that same.
With the same material. Then we got into supplying the Nepalese army with goods from India because their uniforms, their boots, their protective wear, a lot of it was coming from India.
2015, 16.
Yeah, so started doing that. Made a decent amount of money. You know, I was a young kid. I was 27, 28, and I then decided that maybe I should get into defense in India, the defense industry in India, because anyway, all this stuff to do in Nepal got done. I wanted to come back and be here with my dad. So we set up a company. Since you spoke about chason, the first chason company was Chason Enterprises. It was a drone manufacturing company.
Right.
Where my father and me were just investors, and we met these engineers at some VC angel investing forum, and they were meant to build these drones, but they couldn't do it. They were just not capable. So then there was this whole stage where I was like, okay, you know what, you guys leave the company, I will figure out how to build this drone. And we partnered with some French partners, and I put a team together, and trust me, I have no knowledge of anything to do with engineering. I am as far away as it can be, and we tried our best. We put a drone together, took us about a year, sunk in most of what I'd made in Nepal, and by then I was probably 30, 31, not sure on what's going to happen. And you know, it's a very sensitive product, right? Because it has to fly and not really fall on someone, and has to fly from one place to the other in a safe manner. So there were a lot of tests we did, and finally we have a drone ready. We were in touch with the BSF, the Border Security Force, Samar, to build a drone for the borders, to make sure that our borders are secure. So it was quite technical. It was very complicated because the drone had to fly in the sky for about 10 hours. So it was powered actually by a battery with a wire connected to it. The battery was connected to an electric point, so that power can be continuous.
Okay.
And the camera on it had a 36 to 40x zoom, so you could see about 4 kilometers away to spot anything. I mean, for me to even get that camera, it took me 6 months of R&D.
And that technology is still used?
The technology is used now, but
Today?
we put this together, and we even went to certain municipalities here in India to tell them that you can survey the town to make sure all your cleaning and everything is done properly.
What?
Yeah, because defense is something where you're not too sure if you're going to bag the order. You ask any defense player, there's a lot of capex that goes in to develop your product, and you're not really going to bag the order. There's so many of you, and whoever is the lowest, competition is huge, and whoever's the lowest bid with the best product wins. So we want to show, will the BSF really buy from us or not? I mean, we're making this for them. So we found other non-defense ways on selling the product, which was this surveillance on making sure the city is being cleaned properly by the municipal workers.
I see, okay.
And we were pretty successful with all our trials. And COVID happened. And all those budgets that were allocated for us went into healthcare. And at that time, I kind of decided that, listen, I can't sustain the overheads of this company anymore.
And I've
sunk in everything I had at that time, and then we shut it down. It was a very, very tough time in my life, because I was 33, 34 by then.
2020.
This was 2020.
2020, yeah.
I was 33, 34 by then, and most of your peers are doing pretty well at that time, or have kind of taken their family businesses where they need to, or are on the way of taking it, and suddenly you're sitting with nothing, and what you've made is also sunk into this. So 2020 for me was a very difficult time. I actually battled depression as well, and it was, I used to distance myself. Even at home, I should just be, it was COVID, what could we do? But I'd just be in my room. I was in this zone where, why isn't anything working out? I've tried my hand at construction in Nepal. I've now tried to invest in this tech company, put in my heart and soul, put in whatever I've kind of earned. What is going wrong?
So what got you out?
I was, let's put it that way, I was desperate somewhere. And I ended up calling a friend of mine. They have the Toy Room nightclub franchise for India. And at that point, not that point, but throughout my life, a lot of my friends told me, Prasan, you'll be good at hospitality. You know, you're good with people. Your nature is welcoming. You anyway like dining out and staying in hotels and being in that environment. I said, you know what? I think I need to give this a shot. This is probably the last straw.
So yes. So but, I mean, to be successful, you have to be good
Yeah.
at reading a room, which you
Yes.
are.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah.
You have to know your shit, basically. And so that's when you said, yes, I know my shit. Let's fucking do this.
I said, let's fucking do this. I gave this guy a call, and he said, you know what? We're actually looking to expand to Mumbai. I love Mumbai as a city. You know, I've always loved the vibe there, the professionalism. I feel it's a more dynamic city when it comes to an entrepreneur who's trying to build something from scratch. So I said, you know what? Let's do this. So it happened to be at my father's friend's hotel. Again, we're coming back to the Grand Hyatt Summer, where we met for the first time. So you remember China House?
I remember.
We took over China House, that exact same space.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Gutted it. If you go there now, you won't recognize it. And it took us about 6 months to build, because also COVID was still going on.
Right.
We started 2021 is when we started.
Well done.
And we launched this 2021 December. We launched Toy Room in Mumbai. And I came on board as a working partner along with an investment into that nightclub.
So now you're in hospitality.
Now I'm in hospitality. And
chason Beverages happens.
chason Beverages comes
2023.
later.
Yeah, later.
So this was, I'm in hospitality. I'm actually a minor partner in a big organization.
Okay.
And oh my God, I thought,
You
yeah.
learned.
I learned. I thought, yeah, listen, owning a nightclub, this could be fun. It's probably one of the toughest businesses or toughest environments that I've been in, Summer. It actually taught me a lot about grit. It taught me about just managing people. You know, apart from managing your clients and VIPs' expectations, you have a pretty strong staff that is working all night to make sure this establishment of yours is successful. So dealing with them, the whole hierarchy of it, from the GM down to your server, you know, that environment, their thought processes. So do you ask me, was it fun? No, it wasn't fun.
It wasn't fun, no.
Well,
But you saw a gap in the market.
But it was highly rewarding.
Rewarding, of course.
Rewarding as an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Today, if I face challenges that are complex, I actually thank the fact that I ran this nightclub for 2 years. And then from there, we actually expanded into another one in Kolkata.
Wow.
And after that, I was about to build something in Goa, but we abandoned that project because we saw Goa was really not as promising as it used to be.
Right.
A lot of people, I mean, we can get into Goa and all of that later, but a lot of people were shifting towards Bangkok and Vietnam for their holidays instead of coming to Goa.
I see.
So Goa started but didn't really take off.
And how did you get into the business of alcohol?
Let's get there. So being in the nightclub business actually was a big catalyst. Summer, I was, you know, while you're I realized I'm 35, 36 now, there is something that I want that has more longevity. I'm not saying a nightclub business doesn't have longevity. If you run it properly and with the right systems, you can have a nightclub run for 8 or 10 years. You know, you see it all over Miami, New York. The big nightclub owners run their nightclubs for a long time, but I don't see longevity in India with the nightclub. It's just that
Changes?
no, it's you know, we're not a we're not a tourist-driven hospitality market. Summer, Dubai, London, all these cities where you see flourishing nightclubs, you have tourists that are partying there. We still cater to our locals.
Right.
You will rarely see a tourist in a nightclub or a restaurant in India, unless the restaurant is in the hotel they're staying in. They come here for Rajasthan, they come here for India's culture, heritage, rightly so. You know, that's what we are proud about. So what happens is, when you're catering to a certain amount of locals, there's only them. When something new comes, they jump to the new place. So being constantly creative and interesting to keep getting your valuable patrons, I won't even call their customers, is very, very challenging. You can do it for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. After that, what? Rebrand, maybe open another place. So that kind of shift doesn't suit me. It suits some people and they do very well. There's some very successful nightclub owners in India as well, and they're doing phenomenally well. But I was looking at something that I could create a legacy around. So then I noticed a lot of these luxury, coming back to luxury spirits coming into India. You know, you had brands like Don Julio, Clase
Right.
Azul, Tequila, along with Roberto Cavalli, vodka. All the best wines were here, you know, and the Indian consumer was demanding them. You had Ace of Spades when it came to champagne. You know, Dom Perignon was always excellent, but people wanted more. So I kept thinking that maybe this is something I could do. And by chance, I walked into a friend's party in Chhatarpur. It was a Christmas party, 2022. And I noticed this beautiful bottle. I said, what is this tequila? And it was a long drive from Friends Calling to Chhatarpur. I needed a drink, let's put it that way. So I had a nice, tequila on the rocks, and I found it very, very smooth. I said, interesting. I had a look at the bottle.
Komos. So you drank Komos?
And I was like, this
Yeah.
is a great spirit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is really smooth. Now, at that time, I was your typical layman who just thought of the smoothness of the spirit is what makes it great. And then I noticed the bottles, even when I was at friends' parties in Mumbai, I'm like, what is this tequila? They're like, you know what? This is what we're now drinking when we're in Europe or when I'm in Dubai.
I see.
Yeah.
Hadn't come to it.
It hadn't come
brought
to
it.
Yeah.
India.
So I kind of thought maybe this is the next go-to fun, cool brand that people are now going to sort of start drinking.
Yes.
And I asked around. They said, yeah, we love it, we drink it. It was also still a very, very small group of people here in Delhi and in Mumbai that knew about it and were drinking it. So then I started writing to them, got in touch with them, and they obviously were like, listen, you have nothing to do with alcohol. Why should we partner with you? They're a pretty sizable company, pretty
Right.
big, and they were at that stage really looking to expand into Asia. So I said, you're absolutely right. I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. And I have no background with alcohol, but I'll tell you what, I understand the consumer. I've been running successful nightclubs. I know the market. I feel I know the right people who would be good brand ambassadors for you. I kind of felt that more than just selling their volumes and having their bottles on the shelves of stores, they wanted the right people representing the brand. I said, I can bring that to you.
You convinced them?
I convinced them. It took me a few months, trust me. It took me about 5 or 6 months of up and down and convincing the whole team there
Not bad.
at CKBG to
CEO
make.
is Richard
So
Betts.
see, the founders Richard
Richard
Betts,
Betts.
and there's the co-founders Joe Marchese,
Right.
who today is a very good friend. He even came and visited me
Okay.
in Delhi, and their international marketing director is a lady called Leslie Surero, who I keep in touch with, and she has been so supportive, to make sure that me as a partner kind of gets what I need from the brand and what I need to actually make this into a household luxury brand in India.
Right.
Then, so it started with me just getting a few bottles in and a proof of concept. How do I enter the market? And listen, I have no idea about the liquor market at all.
Huh.
It was just me and my accountant who would make the invoices
Right.
when we were importing.
Of course.
We didn't know what the route to market was and how do we tackle the bureaucracy around alcohol in India.
Yes. Bureaucracy, red tape.
The red tape around it. And India is an interesting market, but we're a difficult market. Our taxation here is very high. Our custom duty on alcohol is stupendously high. And each state is like a different country.
Right.
So my taxation and my policy in Delhi is one. That doesn't mean it's the same in Maharashtra.
Right.
So to establish and register your brand in every state is a process. And me registering this in Maharashtra, it took me a year.
A year.
Now, maybe if I was in the trade, it would have taken a shorter amount of time, but just to learn the whole process and find the right distributor and deal with whatever comes to register your label,
Right.
it took me a year.
Right.
So,
And your placement is where?
So-
Outlets? Where? Five-star hotels?
so we're in most of the good 5-star hotels in
Right.
Delhi. We're at the Oberoi, we're at the Leela,
Okay.
we're at the Hyatt Claridge's. we're at the Lodi, and the consumers that end up consuming Komos are very happy with it. And we're at most of the restaurants as well, and we're at name them. We're at Tres, we're at DOS, we're at Cozy Box, we're at Dirty Good, we're at Somewhere Nowhere, this new cocktail bar with Lair. So the places that people frequent, we're at all of them.
Very good.
And we're also very discerning, Summer. We don't want to be everywhere. It's part of the brand guidelines.
Right. Keep it.
keep it to places where, number one, you have the consumer. And I'm not talking about just the consumer should have the money. It's an expensive tequila to buy it. It should also he should be a certain type.
Yes.
He or she. They should kind of be the type that have an evolved palate and want to experiment with something that's away from the norm. Not just come in and buy the most expensive thing on the menu. Come in and actually experience something that is more elevated than most of the competition.
The experience you had when you first tasted it.
Yes, absolutely.
And how do you make the consumer aware of your brand?
So I would say a small percentage kind of knows about it because of them traveling and just being evolved. Then a lot is word of mouth. Secondly, we do select activations at bars and restaurants we're placed at. Because we're an expensive bottle, we cannot do large takeovers like the behemoths like Diageo and Pernod do.
Right.
But what we do is small, intimate gatherings where, because I don't want the liquid to get lost in the experience. The experience has to be around the brand and the liquid.
Yeah, because the liquid is manufactured with the European wine.
European winemaking techniques. There are specialized barrels that have been used to age each variant. There's a lot that's gone in to creating, that fine liquid in every variant. So I want the consumer to actually experience that.
Yes.
I don't want you to just come to a bar, do a few shots of tequila, get drunk, and leave, and then forget about what happened.
Of course.
Which happens a lot. I want you to sit down. We like pairing it with food. It's a big part of our entire education around the brand.
That's great. Like wine, pair the tequila with different.
Like how wine is paired with the food. Tequila, because of its winemaking techniques, especially Komos, is now paired with food.
Yeah.
So you have, say, the Reposado Rosa, this pink bottle you see here.
Yes.
This is aged in French red wine casks.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's another thing we actually very proud to talk about. We're additive free. So it's very easy on your gut. You don't feel horrible the next day. Your system kind of doesn't go into overdrive, especially when you consume a lot of alcohol.
You wrote once, without commitment, you will never start. Without consistency, you will never finish. Do you still abide by this philosophy?
I'll always abide by this.
Yes.
Summer. I actually, where I heard this, I heard Denzel Washington say this in one of his speeches.
How would he say it?
I can't imitate him. I think you'll do a better job at this. But it just hit me hard. I think it was during the time when I told you I was going through that depression during COVID. I used to watch a lot of these motivating speeches and things like that. And I found this speech on Denzel. He'd won some Academy Award and he was thanking everyone around him. But what caught my attention was when he said, without commitment, you'll never start. So you need to be committed to something. I mean, all guns blazing. Samar, let's not talk about semi-commitment and dilly-dallying and all that. You need to be committed towards your goal. You start. You know what? As humans, we get distracted. It's a very common thing. Happens with everyone. I mean, right now, if you're talking to me and I'm talking to you, there are 10,000 different things happening around us or in our mind. But you need the consistency. And without consistency, there's no way you'll ever finish. You need to be able to get to work with that same mindset to be able to execute your tasks. And that's the only way you will reach the finish line. And whatever your finish line is, and you ask me right now what my finish line is, listen, it could be sky's the limit. Infinity.
I like
that. There's no finish line right now. Sky's the limit.
Yeah.
But be consistent every day.
Absolutely.
And today, anyone asks me what is the toughest battle, Prasan, as an entrepreneur? I say be consistent. It's so hard. A work-life balance. People talk about that. Listen, there's no work-life balance. It's just work.
And with that in mind, what the future of spirits in India?
I see premiumization really coming in a big way. Summer. Keep in mind, we're not a luxury market. We're not a Dubai. We're not a London. We're not anywhere where you really see luxury spirits. We're not even Hong Kong. As India, yes, we're doing well as a nation, but keep in mind, most of our population cannot afford luxury. So I see premiumization is happening, but I see what's going to eventually make sure that the way the alcohol business grows is how do you get interesting, innovative techniques priced at the right price point.
Right. And when Prasan is not talking shop, what's a perfect day look like for you? Do you travel for pleasure?
I
not
travel
only for work?
I travel a lot
Where?
for work, but I travel to Dubai a lot for work. Summer we actually have a distribution and import company in Dubai as well. But there our whole business model is very different to what I do in India.
No, it has to be.
So
yes.
like here I do luxury spirits. There we do volume driven entry level alcohol, which is for the blue collared workers.
Yeah.
You know, you have a lot of Indian
Yeah.
labor in
course.
the UAE. We cater to them. So we have an entry level beer, we have an entry level whiskey, and we're introducing some vodka and gin
Not
as well.
bad.
There, yeah.
Not bad.
So that's what takes me to Dubai every month. And for leisure, I do travel quite a bit. I'm in Europe a couple of times a year. Komos makes me travel. The head office for marketing is based out of Paris, so I'm there because of the wines and the gin that we're getting into. I'm in Italy a couple of times a year. So the way I structure my travel is, if it's 2 days of work and meetings, I'll do that, and after that I
Absolutely,
just
yes.
carry on.
Of course.
And the leisure part of it comes
Of
into
course,
it. So I'm
of course.
fortunate
No, it's
to
good.
have work make me travel.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Mentors, friends, even strangers. Books
Mm-hmm.
helped shape you?
Absolutely. There's a book called The Alchemist,
Paulo Coelho.
Paulo Coelho, which actually really shaped my thought-making process. I read it maybe 15, 17 years ago, and I've read it multiple times after that. It's the only book that I've not been able to put down. As in, I was reading it in Delhi. I was on a flight to Mumbai. It's the time, when I met you in Mumbai. And
2 hours.
I sat down in the hotel room and couldn't put it down. It's been a really, really important
great
book
book.
in my life.
Great book.
And another one is Shoe Dog by Phil Knight.
Yeah, I read
founder
that.
of Nike.
Yeah.
I actually, when I finished it, I was in tears because the kind of passion and dedication
And struggle.
that man and his team went
But-
through. Oh my God! Talking about consistency,
Consistency.
you got to learn from those guys.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's your go-to drink? I mean, apart from...
So my go-to drink, actually, if I'm enjoying an evening with a close friend,
Yeah.
would be a Macallan 18.
Ooh.
Yeah. 25 if we're really having a good time.
Okay.
But Macallan 18.
Okay. Now, finally, as well as I do, in today's
Mm-hmm.
world of changing lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
habits, fitness,
Mhm.
eating,
Mm-hmm.
shifting morals,
Mm-hmm.
what role do you see alcohol playing?
When it comes to role that alcohol will play, Summer, is more like, I would say that the way alcohol is going to be perceived is going to change, right? People are getting more health conscious, definitely. People are all about eating the right thing, consuming the right product, taking the right supplements. I mean, I sometimes feel it's getting a bit much because there are a lot of these supplements that are not tested in the market and people are consuming them because it's anti-aging, gives you this energy, that energy. There's a whole movement around CBD and THC, which is supposed to be good for your brain. I mean, each their own. I'm sure it helps some people. Coming back to your question, yes, people are getting more conscious. I would say the younger generation is even abstaining from alcohol, and because they feel they want to be obviously hungover free and more focused the next day to take on life. Alcohol manufacturers have realized this summer. So what they're doing is they're making, especially the ones that are conscious and the brands that are here to stay, they're making their spirits additive free. They're trying to get rid of the impurities. They are focusing more on creating this thought process of social responsibility on alcohol in their message. So I would say, instead of alcohol being abused, as something that just, and people getting messed up and creating trouble and rebellion around it. It's going to be consumed more mindfully. It's going to be consumed to celebrate each victory in life. It's going to be consumed to engage socially in a more mindful way and to relax. I mean, listen, the world is a stressful place. I would rather enjoy a lovely glass or two of Komos than take a substance that you don't know it's been tested or not, that's in the market. That's my take on it. So, yeah.
Correct. So enjoy premium spirit.
Let's remove the term premium. I mean, premium doesn't have to be expensive, Samar. By premium, I mean the entire thought process and scientific process to make sure that that spirit is the least harmful for you.
At a manufacturing.
At a manufacturing, it starts from the manufacturer.
Okay.
And that's what all the brands are doing now.
Komos is.
Other notable brands are doing the same thing.
Good.
There is a lot of non-alcoholic options. There's non-alcoholic beer that the top brands are doing.
Yeah.
There is this company called Sober here in India that's doing very well.
Right.
That is non-alcoholic whiskey, vodka, and gin. I think they're coming up with an agave-based drink as well. So you have those guys, and I see that segment growing as well. Will Chasen get into it? I can't say right now. I'm more about getting the brands that I believe in, the brands that stand out, and getting the Indian consumer to enjoy them.
And what's your advice on drinking responsibly?
Please drink responsibly. That would be, because then you can actually enjoy your evening and maybe do it more often instead of regretting it the next day.
Right.
Because we're here to celebrate life. Life is hard enough. Please win at life and celebrate it in style. So please drink responsibly. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Prasan.
Thank you, Samar, for having me.
Thank you very much for having us.
It's been great. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much.